The successful customer project is our bread and butter here at AdaCore. We understand industrial product development. We are in the business of helping you build software that matters. This means avoiding bugs in production by writing high-quality code during development. It means getting a superior product out the door quicker than your competition. It means successfully dealing with changing requirements, passing unit tests, and skillfully acing full-scale integration tests. It means productive engineers using modern tools and state-of-the-art languages. For you to be successful, you need the best tools along with accessible, expert human engineering support to reduce your costs, reduce your effort, and reduce your time. The GNAT Pro tool suite is a well-appointed outfit for working with the Ada, Spark, C, and C++ programming languages. It can be installed and used on a workstation, or it can be integrated into a build and test or continuous integration system. It works with desktop computers, embedded systems, and servers, and is used for general purpose as well as critical software of all kinds. Of course, development tools like a compiler, debugger, and IDE are included in the suite, but so are target emulators, web technologies, a coding standard checker, a multi-language builder, and more. Also integral to a GNAT Pro subscription is access to expert support. AdaCore's expert support will keep your project moving when you feel that computers may be conspiring against you. If you have a hair-splitting technical question about compilation switches, if you have a question about the Ada, Spark, or C++ languages and what our compiler does with your code, if you're missing an essential feature, or if you suspect that there may be a bug and you need more information and possibly a bug fix, open a support conversation with an AdaCore engineer before you waste any time. Our job is to help you keep doing your job. We will answer your questions, we can provide feature updates and modifications, and we can provide bug fixes. If there is a bug, we will make sure that you have workarounds that you can use until the fix is in your hands and in production. Our yearly releases are done in 3 stages. The new GNAT Pro 21.0 preview release is out right now for anybody interested in kicking the tires. In February, the GNAT Pro 21.1 major release will be published, and the 21.2 corrective release will occur in July. If you need to maintain a product and its development environment for years or even decades after deployment, GNAT Pro Assurance provides a GNAT Pro with availability, stability, and continuous monitoring for years beyond a normal product's end of life. In case an issue does come to light, customers of GNAT Pro Assurance will have access to extended support releases and enough information to perform an impact assessment. And now, we'll start a countdown of what's new in GNAT Pro 21, starting with our new platforms. With the GNAT Pro 21 release, we are adding support for 3 additional hardware platforms. There's Wind River's VxWorks 7 SR600 series that we now support on x86, ARM, and PowerPC. Also new this year is a Windows-hosted ARM Linux cross toolchain, which augments our existing Windows-hosted PowerPC Linux toolchain. And we now have support for 32-bit RISC-V bareboard targets. Who doesn't want their code to run faster or fit into a smaller space? GNAT Pro 21's compiler is now based on GCC 9, which brings with it improved optimization and code generation. The performance of the compiler itself has also improved, and it scales better in parallel build environments. If you're coding DSPs or using microcontrollers like Infineon's Tricore, you may not think that AdaCore's tools will work for you. Actually, it turns out that you can program in Ada or Spark and use AdaCore's CCG to produce an intermediate source listing that the vendor's C compiler can compile and load onto the board. CCG is qualified to ISO 26262 TCL3, which is the highest level. This confers confidence that the intermediate code preserves the guarantees made in your Ada or Spark code. New this year in CCG is support for more Ada features. With CCG in GNAT Pro 21, we now have support for unchecked type conversions and for subprogram instantiations. It's also useful sometimes for ease of interfacing to eliminate elaboration code from being generated, and we now support the no elaboration code restriction in CCG. If you need to develop custom Ada-aware tooling, included in GNAT Pro is a library called Libadalang that you can use from Python or Ada. So, rather than writing your own Ada parser, you can use Libadalang in your application and easily gain a syntactic and semantic understanding of a body of Ada code from within your code. The Ada language continues to evolve, with each iteration being backwards compatible with the last, while adding more features and expressivity. The next language revision is called Ada 2020 and brings with it a fair number of new language features. The list you see here has been implemented, and you can preview it today. One of these features is the standardization of the Jorvik tasking profile. Applications running on constrained embedded platforms or with hard real-time requirements are not always certified. But using the Ravenscar tasking subset may mean having to design around limits that are tighter than necessary. The Jorvik profile allows you to do more in your multitasking applications than the Ravenscar profile allows, while still limiting the size and complexity of the runtime. And just like with the Ravenscar subset, it's usable with Spark, which means that you can have guarantees that your tasking program will not have runtime errors and will behave according to your specifications. Now, for certified applications, the Ravenscar tasking profile is still the recommended subset. Another one of these Ada 2020 features is an official standard for importing variadic C functions for use in Ada code. So, invoking C functions with a variable number of arguments is now easier to do in Ada. For more information about Ada 2020, have a look at our recent blog post on blog.adacore.com. Writing and maintaining C or C++ code in an industrial setting involves avoiding pitfalls from development to deployment to long-term maintenance. AdaCore is here to help avoid some of these pitfalls and keep your C and C++ projects on track. Our development tools are compatible with C code up to C18 and C++ code up to C++17. Our compiler undergoes rigorous quality assurance stress tests that include millions of lines of customer code collected over 25 years. These tests are run on every platform we support on a daily basis. Our C compiler has been validated by Supertest for safety-critical mixed language development, and we can provide C and C++ toolchain certification artifacts for the DO-178, EN 5128, and ISO 26262 safety standards. Of course, you get more than just the compiler. The package includes a debugger, IDEs, a bare metal target emulator, and analysis tools. AdaCore's expert support is also included, so questions you may have about C++, funny program behavior, certification, and more can be posed to our engineers on our support portal with no limit on the number of requests. For GNAT Pro 21, we have added support for C++ to all VxWorks 7 platforms, which makes our full list of platforms with C++ support Windows, Linux, VxWorks 6 on PowerPC, and VxWorks 7 on x86, ARM, and PowerPC. We are working to bring GNAT Pro to more platforms. With GNAT Pro 22, we will support Wind River Helix and VxWorks 7 Cert. Lynx Software Technologies Mosaic is also coming, as is PikeOS 5. And a 64-bit x86-64 bareboard product will also be available. Next year's GNAT Pro will also bring with it a new implementation of our GNAT project system with a published API. Using this API, you can write your own tools that are able to work with GNAT project files and that can integrate into the GNAT pipeline. We will be improving our testing capability with the addition of fuzzing. We are currently evaluating options, but one strong contender is American Fuzzy Lop, or AFL, which is named after a rabbit selectively bred to have fuzzy genes. It is very cute, but it is no joke. AFL has found bugs and security vulnerabilities in many software libraries, applications, and operating systems, and being able to use it on Ada programs is an exciting prospect. We expect to have a beta sometime in 2021 or 2022. If you've ever wanted to go beyond tens of CPU cores and get access to thousands of cores available in modern GPUs, you've probably looked around and saw that a premier option was to use CUDA with C, C++, or Fortran. Pretty soon, Ada will also work with the CUDA parallel computing platform, combining the massively parallel co-processing capability of GPUs with the safety, security, and reliability benefits of Ada. We anticipate a beta of this capability in 2021. If you would like to speak with us about our up-and-coming technology like GPU support and fuzzing, or if you'd like to purchase GNAT Pro, please contact sales@adacore.com. You could also read our articles on blog.adacore.com, ask questions on GNAT Tracker if you're a customer, and visit us at www.adacore.com.